In a house where shadows danced and walls whispered secrets of the past, I learned as a child that not all playmates are made of flesh and blood, but nothing could have prepared me for the night Larry's voice pierced the silence and begged me to stay. I grew up in a weathered old house on the outskirts of a sleepy town, a structure dating back to the 1920s with creaking floors, drafty windows, and a history that seemed to seep from its very bones. Built in an era of simpler times, it stood alone amid sprawling fields, its grey clapboard exterior softened by ivy and time. To me, a wide-eyed 5-year-old, it was a kingdom of adventure filled with toys, the scent of my mother's baking, and an unseen companion I accepted without question. In those innocent years, the idea of doubting the supernatural never crossed my mind. It was a simple truth, as real as the sun rising each morning. There was a little ghost in our house, a presence my big brother and I nicknamed Larry after his playful disturbances began to shape our daily lives. The signs started small, almost playful. Late at night, sharp knocks would echo from the back porch walls, a rhythmic tapping that sounded like a child seeking attention. I'd lie in bed, listening, half expecting to see a friend peeking through my door. During the day, small objects, a porcelain cat figurine, a stack of colorful crayons, or my mother's favorite teacup would inch forward on shelves before dropping gently to the floor. Not a violent crash, but a deliberate tumble, as if nudged by an invisible hand. My mother would sigh, picking them up, muttering about shaky foundations, but I knew it was Larry, testing his reach. My mother often spoke of stranger encounters. She'd wake to the soft patter of footsteps racing down the hallway leading to her bedroom, a small figure darting past her peripheral vision. Thinking it was me, she'd call my name in a sleepy scold, "Why aren't you asleep?" Only to find me curled up in bed, fast asleep, my blankets pulled tight. She'd stand in the doorway, frowning, her eyes scanning the dark hall, a mix of confusion and unease settling over her. These incidents became routine, yet they never lost their unsettling edge. Our family loved capturing memories with disposable cameras, a staple of my childhood in the late 90s, and the photos revealed more than we bargained for. Bright orbs, perfect circles of light, appeared in nearly every shot, hovering over the living room couch, the back porch steps, even my brother and me mid-laugh. We'd pass the glossy prints around, marveling at the ghostly specks, joking about camera ghosts, though a quiet understanding grew among us that something unseen was sharing our space. The most unforgettable moment came on a dreary, rainy afternoon when I was 6. My brother, 3 years my senior, and I were huddled in my mother's room, watching a Mary Kate and Ashley VHS tape, the cheerful chatter of the twin sisters filling the air with a sense of normalcy. Suddenly, the screen crackled, dissolving into a sea of static that drowned out their voices. Frustrated, I crossed my arms and shouted, "Larry, stop messing with my movie." To my astonishment, the static vanished almost instantly, the tape resuming as if rewound by an unseen hand. My brother's jaw dropped, and I felt a shiver run through me, not fear, but a thrilling I'd spoken to Larry, and he'd listened. That moment etched itself into my memory, a blend of childish triumph and the eerie realization that our ghost was responsive, a presence with a will of its own. As the years passed, Larry's presence grew more pronounced. One humid summer night, I woke to the sound of giggling drifting from the hallway, a high, childlike laugh that wasn't mine or my brother's. Heart pounding, I crept to my door and peered out, catching a faint shadow flicker past, too small to be anyone living, its form dissolving into the darkness. Another time, while playing alone in my room, my favorite toy car, a red Hot Wheels with chipped paint, rolled across the floor on its own, stopping at the foot of my bed as if offered back to me. I stared, wide-eyed, whispering, "Thanks, Larry," before tucking it under my pillow. My mother noticed the changes too. She began leaving a nightlight on in the hall, her lips moving in silent prayers she thought I didn't hear, her faith clashing with the unexplained. The knocks evolved, becoming bolder. They'd come in patterns, 3 sharp taps, a pause, then 2 more, like a secret code or a game of tag with an invisible player. One evening, as I helped my mother fold laundry in the living room, a picture frame slid off the mantel, shattering on the hardwood. We both jumped, and she whispered, "Not again," her hands trembling as she swept up the glass. The air grew thick, a cold draft brushing my cheek despite the closed windows. I started talking to Larry more, asking him to play or leave my toys alone, and sometimes it seemed to work. Objects stayed put, the knock softened. Years later, when I was 12, my mother decided to confront the mystery. Over coffee one morning, she asked our landlord about the house's past. The woman's face tightened, her voice dropping as she revealed a chilling truth. Decades ago, a young boy had fallen from the second-story window, his death a quiet tragedy that haunted the property. No one knew if it was an accident or something darker, but the boy's spirit, it seemed, had never left. The revelation sent a shiver down my spine, connecting the dots. Larry wasn't just a playful ghost. He was a lost soul, tethered to the house that witnessed his fall. My mother crossed herself, vowing to bless the home, but I felt a strange kinship with him, a curiosity that began to define me. The climax unfolded on a stormy night when I was 16, the house groaning under the weight of thunder and rain. I'd stayed up late, poring over a borrowed book on paranormal phenomena, my room lit by a single candle flickering on my desk. The knocks started again, louder than ever, a frantic rhythm against the porch wall that shook the window panes. The air grew heavy, oppressive, and the candle flame danced wildly, casting jagged shadows across the walls. Then a cold hand seemed to brush my shoulder, and a whisper, faint but clear, cut through the storm. "Play with me." My breath caught as the candle snuffed out, plunging the room into darkness. Heart racing, I stumbled to the hallway, guided by the dim glow of the nightlight. At the top of the stairs stood a figure, a small, translucent boy, his form shimmering like heat off pavement. His eyes were hollow, his clothes tattered, a mirror of the old photos we'd found in the attic. "Larry," I whispered, my voice trembling. He tilted his head, and his voice echoed again, "Don't leave me." The hallway seemed to stretch, the walls closing in, and I felt a pull, like he wanted me to join him. Panic surged as the temperature dropped, and shadowy shapes flickered at the edges of my vision. Other spirits, drawn by his call. I shouted, "I can't stay, Larry. Go find peace." The figure wavered, his form dissolving as my mother's footsteps thundered up the stairs. She flipped on the light, her face pale, and the presence vanished. When the storm cleared, the house felt different, quieter, lighter, as if Larry had finally moved on. That night changed me forever. Growing up with Larry ignited a lifelong passion for the mystical, steering me toward a path of spiritual exploration. I've since encountered oddities, shadows in empty rooms, whispers in the wind, a cold touch in a stranger's house. Each experience a thread in the tapestry Larry began. The house is a memory, now sold years ago, but his presence lingers in my soul, a reminder that some stories don't end, they evolve, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to listen.